Okay, I will start.
Go ahead, Asadazer.
Intentions and distractions. Well, I just wanna stay tuned at what's happening this week, and with the Params and all the comes good things that are coming. And distractions. Well, here in Mazatlan, it's an hurricane, but everything's okay. And I think he's gone, but everything is okay. So I pass it to David.
All right. Let's see. My intentions are to really grasp at the deepest level what is next for us as a commons, as a group of collaborative economists. So I was just halfway through Nate's article, and it's really helping me out. So looking forward to fully wrapping my mind around what comes next for us as a group. And distractions. I don't think I have any today. No. I got to take my dog for a walk at some point. I always feel his eyes boring into the back of my skull as I work at the computer. So, yeah, dog walk distraction. And I will pass it to Nate.
Thanks, David. Intentions are just to contribute to comms in any way I can, especially within the whole Comms DAO conversation. And then distractions are none at the moment. So I will pass it to Lauren.
Hey, my intentions are just to keep in the loop and sync up and see if I can contribute or help with anything. My distractions are, I'm like, put my head a little bit in some Param stuff this morning, so I'm like the demo, but that's all I'm distracted by. And I'll pass it to Griff.
Yeah. Hey, so my intentions are just to check in with comms and see how things are going. I don't have any direct intentions and distractions. I'm hanging out in Chris Crisis. Have you seen Chris around in the Give Us circles and the TEC circles, Common Stack circles? I'm hanging out at his Airbnb and still trying to find my spot to do standing desks. I'm in a shelf. So I'll pass it to Tam. Did you go?
No, not yet. So intentions is just to hear what's going on in comms, to contribute where I can, to welcome David. I still have yet to meet him, but we're going to get on that this week, I hope, and to hear about the updated proposal for the Comms DAO. And I'll pass to Craig.
Hello, thanks, Tam. Like most folks, just here to see what's happening in comms and if there's a way I can contribute, and distractions are many. And I am not sure who has not gone, maybe Acid Laser?
I already passed, but
Zep hasn't gone.
who's left? Chuy?
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that delay at the beginning, everyone. So intentions. I'm very, very anxious to share this Comms DAO idea with all of you. And distractions for today. It's not really a distraction, but it's a beautiful day, and it's my last day at the beach. So I get dragged by it sometimes. It's just like a really beautiful place, one of my favorites. So has everybody gone yet?
I can take it too.
Optimus.
Oh, go Septi.
My intentions is to sing, and I also added an agenda topic. Me and Nate were discussing, maybe do a debate, because on the one-time change of the TC address, there was two opinions, and since advice process, I'm also working on advice process, and the idea is to get more involved, the community, and maybe have a debate. And yeah, I added here because maybe we would need some comms to make it happen. Like the idea is doing it like right after Gravity because of the schedules. And since we have to like in the forum we say like we're going to post it on the snapshot vote on 2 of September. Yeah, just that. And maybe we can take it later. But yeah, go ahead, Chuy.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Septi. So let's start with our agenda topics. And well, first of all, I have like a really exciting announcement as part of the efforts that we're trying to have like for transparency and everything that's going on in our social media. David is gonna be having like a bi-weekly capsule in our comms working group call, where he's gonna be providing some of the analytics from our social media. This way, there can be like more awareness of places or maybe countries or communities where we're being like more present, also like age ranges and some interesting stuff that we really haven't like digged into. But I feel that with the Commons upgrade, there can be like a lot of strategic efforts to reach like new specific groups or communities. And this can also sum up with the efforts going on at T Scouts. So yes, I wanted to share this with everyone, and we're going to be starting with this capsule next week, and it's going to be like every 2 weeks so that we have like more updated information. So thanks for that, David, and yeah, praise to you. Also, as some of you know, we're going to have Params September. It's going to be a campaign where we're going to be like daily posting one parameter to explain the Commons upgrade, and just to get a better a sense of how people are starting to process this information and starting to learn it, and also like in a more organizational manner. So we're the way we're reaching it is that we're doing a lot of emphasis on it being like 3 different categories, and then we're gonna be going like in depth for each of these categories, but it's gonna be just like one parameter daily. So this we also hope that is gonna bring some engagement to the forum. And we had an idea since game shows in the space are kind of like getting big and getting more present. T Wells just made an amazing job with a game show and everything going on around One Hype TV. So we have like some weeks to do this, like to plan it the right way. But we're trying to like incentivize people to go back to our Twitter and our forum and get to actually like study more about the parameters. So we'll try to promote this around hatchers and also like non-hatchers as well. And we're going to be discussing in the next days some incentives that could be a good idea for this. And I don't know if it's either like some honey as price, or maybe we can do like some POAPs around it. But we were thinking about like incentivizing people and trying to just check on how they are absorbing information and try to make it like in a fun way that doesn't seem like as boring as just like, oh yeah, parameters and like this is how you use your dashboard. It's like, yeah, let's get people excited about this, and yeah, hopefully they can fall like into the rabbit hole with the rest of us. So our next agenda topic is just Nugget put together like another POAP for hatchers. He had this idea for a while, so we're gonna be trying to promote this in the next few days. This is a different POAP than the one that Santi worked on with Alex. So if any of you would like to claim it to see what it's like, we added a link in our agenda that you can click and yeah, have this great hatcher POAP. So this brings me to like our central topic of our call today, which is the the TE Comms DAO. So can everybody see my screen? And oh,
Yeah.
hi Ivy.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is the TE Comms DAO. I was going through the idea with Griff, and he made an actually like a great point, which is we want to fund like public goods around token engineering. So we saw that there is like this lack of comms uh, development in the whole token engineering area. So we wanted to pitch this as like a public good for anything around token engineering. So any like marketing needs or any like communication services that we can provide to any of this, like this is the idea of the TE Comms DAO. So our goals are to provide the token engineering field with marketing and communication services, raise awareness about token engineering as an emerging discipline, encouraging token engineers to contribute with development, and newcomers to get involved in education programs around the field. And produce projects that will spread the message about token engineering and its relevance in a Web3 near future. So these are our main goals. And as I was mentioning, we want to be a public good for marketing needs to any project that advances token engineering, not just the TEC. So this would cover campaign planning, marketing strategies, design, social media management. So we will become the token engineering Comms DAO, not really the TEC Comms, since we want to like cover this broader space and also be able to delegate our contributors in a more efficient way than we really have, because there's like some people that sometimes approach us and they want to contribute and join in, but it's like we work differently because we're in a different stage. So this is the way we think that we can get the most out of these contributors that are interested in putting efforts around comms. So how are we going to do this? We will basically look for pretty much like all of the roles associated with comms, starting from comms stewards, comms coordinators, project managers, writers and editors, graphic designers, and social media managers. So this would all start with a funding proposal. So this proposal is based mostly in some other projects that we have run across. We are taking some tips from OneHive's Poland distribution, and also the Boss DAO, which handles all of OneHive marketing, does a really good job, kind of like funneling different contributors. And I've always really liked how just how easy it is to like go into OneHive and find something to do that is valuable for the community. So we want to recreate this atmosphere around the TE Comms DAO. And I also really like how they handle their bounty board. And it doesn't really get a lot of attention as it should. And it brings a lot of really good opportunities for newcomers. So this is how open we want this to be for all of the new contributors that approach the TEC. And also, we are considering and implementing these like great pieces that Anna Marie and Levy have been working really hard on, and they do make a lot of really good points around how we're going to be organizing in our near future around the Commons upgrade. So also, there are like links to these if you haven't read them yet, and they're just like really good. So I would recommend this to anyone, and it's going to be like a great guide for requesting funds and just organizing everything around our needs. So our funding proposal would cover the first 6 months, since things might get like a little bit well, we still have to see how everything is going to react, and once we open the comments upgrade, like how many people are going to come in, like some newcomers are going to be participating. So since this is going to be like a little bit unpredictable at first, we would like to request funding for the first 6 months, and after this, I feel that it's a good idea to do it quarterly. So these first 2 periods, or these first like 2 quarters, would be covered by our initial funding, and this is how we want to like compensate our essential roles. So these are all examples. I know that I run into like some confusion with the last document that I shared with the community, because it mentioned like specific people, and it's not really what we're aiming for. It's not like, oh, Asset Laser is going to get paid this much, and Ivy is going to get paid this much. So we would like to like I wanted to like make a new approach and start from the kind of contributions that each one makes. So this is also like not written in stone. Some people think that these rates are actually low. So this is what this discussion is for, so that we can express our opinions around this. But I feel that if we make contributions flexible and not really like around like a specific role or expectation, there are more opportunities to contributors to ask themselves, like, where can I contribute? Like, what are some of the needs that I see in the space? So this is the idea behind having like an essential role compensation kind of. I've said this before. It's not really like a basic income, but let's say it's like a base rate, and this can definitely be expanded through different ideas. So our initial proposal is to have like a 12 DAI per hour compensation, and this would like accumulate depending on the amount of time that each one has. Some writers might put like 6 hours weekly. This is totally fine. Some writers might be able to contribute just like 2 hours, but this is just like the beginning of something that they can expand on. So going to the next example. So I've also mentioned this about like more isolated projects rather than just like essential roles. So I've talked in the past about the epic video that I want to put together with Manu, right? So this is like a really good example because it's going to be like an isolated project, and it goes like around the production and pre-production and filming services and many different factors. So the way we would ask for make this proposal would be working a lot on the pre-production and having basically a production Bible that we can base everything up, and everything can be like laid out from the script to our budgets to how the distribution is gonna be made, to just like basically a manual on how to put this project together. This can either be like run by us, or the idea is to have pre-productions like so broad that anyone could grab this manual and execute them. So this is the way we would like to pass proposals, especially around productions. So this works a little bit more, a little bit different. The producer role would have like a compensation, and the director role would have a compensation as well. And pretty much any role that is associated with this production would get a compensation. And this, as you see, has our more like familiar 19 DAI per hour rate. This project could last from a total to 4 to 6 weeks, maybe, depending on how broad it is. But this is what I mean with contributors like expanding their income and having more options, but directly based on the necessities that they see around in our community or other communities that do token engineering. So if you are an essential role and you get this rate per hour, and you dedicate some hours per week, and the rest of the time you dedicate it to another isolated proposal, comms contributors can have can start expanding their income. So this is why the 12 DAI per hour income makes sense to me. But yeah, I'll we'll see at the end how you feel about this. And also, I was not letting out SourceGrid. SourceGrid is going to be also a great tool, and it's going to be more standardized around the working groups. It's not going to be exclusive for comms. And I mean, pretty much all of these interactions and praise are also going to help with an additional income. So I still have no idea and no clue about how much we're going to be distributing SourceGrid. I know that in One Hive's case, really full-time contributors can earn from 1 to 1.5 honey per week. Also more regular contributors but are not full-time can earn somewhere in between 0.3 to 0.5 honey. What's going to be easier for us is that we are going to be handling this in Wrap Text DAI, as far as I understand. So this can be actually much more. Oh, it's going to be in TEC tokens, Griff? Okay, so it's going to be given out in our governance tokens, which really makes much more sense. So let's say that the polling distribution is based more on honey. So right now, honey, I think it's around $300 or something like that. So if you get 0.5 honey and then the honey price goes up, and you keep some of those savings, that's its own, let's say, incentive around this. And I really like the idea of having SourceGrid in the governance token, because it will also incentivize people to participate in our governance, not only just accumulate DAI, right? So I'm gonna make this adjustment to take this in consideration as TEC tokens, but in the end, it would be part of the income that comms contributors can have access to. So next could be a roadmap. I mean, it's also not written in stone, but this is basically how I see these first 6 months working for the TE Comms DAO. We are going to have the Commons upgrade approximately in around October. And then for November, we want to make this in a full developed proposal and present it to the community so that we can vote on. If everything goes right, we would be launching our Comms DAO in December 2021, and we're gonna get our initial funding for the first 6 months. In January, we would like to come up with specific project proposals going back to the video production, or we've been also bouncing around some ideas David, for example, could expand his social media management services for other token engineering projects. Acid Laser could do something similar around design. There are different proposals that can be put together, and I would also work on a campaign for these 2 months, probably November and December, just encouraging all of comms contributors to come up with what do you see that we are lacking in the token engineering field, and how could we approach this from comms to get everyone excited about this. This could also work really good hand in hand with the TE Scouts. And I'm also probably that could be something that we can talk about tomorrow, Edu, but even the TE Scouts could be presenting these proposals under the TE Comms DAO, so that it can have just more tools, since this is mostly community outreach. For February, we would be starting to execute these projects, and for March, I would like to propose a community audit, just to have feedback on how we've been working, how we are using the TEC funds, and how we can improve our just proposals in general, or ways of working. So some stuff that still needs to be defined, and some of the details that I'd like to review with you is the DAO platform that fits the needs. Aragon is not working great lately. But at the same time, there are like many options in XDAI that are still that are coming here, like DAO House and Colony. So let's maybe like put it out there as an advice process to like which DAO platform could be the best one for handling this. Also, maybe should we start a bounty board? Just how everyone feels. See how everyone feels about it, because I know that there's like some conviction into the token engineering field that you need to get like initially to contribute to the TEC. But just discussing in general how we can make this attractive for newcomers and new contributors. Also, the community outreach, as I was saying, the TE Scouts role that they're going to play in the TE Comms DAO. Also, SoftGov, how are we making decisions, especially around creative decisions? Like this really gets me like excited and worried at the same time, because creative decisions are like the toughest ones to make. And I've been really thinking about it. It's like, okay, so we are handling these funds around these productions. How are we gonna like reach a final decision? You know, if it's about like creativity. So I don't know if it's either like from a directing approach or whatever it is. It is always like around creative teams. Just a big issue. How are the creative decisions being taken collectively? So I would also like to have some soft-gov tools within our own Comms DAO. Also, the legal aspects. Are the TEC terms and conditions going to be applying to working groups that request for funding? Or what are some of the changes that are going to happen around this? And what is the offboarding process from the TEC? Can this scale to our sub DAOs, and how it would work? And lastly is One Hive's Tulip DAO proposal. Is a really nice case study that I would encourage everyone to read. It's not really like directly related to us or what we want to achieve, but there's this whole discussion going on around how One Hive is going to fund Tulip. And since most of them are coders, they are asking for really nice hourly rates that go from 60 to 150 DAI per hour. And there is this discussion going on like, hey, but isn't this going to drain our common pool? Like, this is way too much. How can we like balance this between the different swarms, and how can we make this like more even? Because I mean, with this proposal, programmers get better paid in Tulip DAO than in Agave, for example. So it is just a really nice case study on how to lay out these funding proposals for different working groups. And I would really not want to like run into like some of the same difficulties with like some rate differences between our working groups. So it's just something that I wanted to put out there as a case study that is really good. And it's going to be like a great reference for us. So yes, feedback, opinions. Let's start with, I'll pass it to Lauren, and I would love to hear all of your thoughts, and I'm going to be taking notes on this.
I think it's a cool idea. I mean, I don't really have too much feedback to share at the moment. I'd love to hear what other people have to say. Maybe I could pass it to Ivy.
Thanks, Lauren. So one thing that I've been wondering, me and Zepti were talking about yesterday is like if these contributors get compensated with tech or DAI, and then we also praise them, will it affect the impact hours, or the praise that they would get, and the amount of compensation that these contributors get from the DAO? Is there like a relationship between those two?
Yes. I mean, the way I understand it is that like praise and just like community recognition in general would be working through SourceGrid. I don't know if it's SourceGrid's goal in the TEC, or the source grid working group to have it be like a serious like income, let's say. The way it works in OneHive is that Poland is a really nice income, but I feel that it's only like even people that are full time aren't getting like really like full rates through SourceGrid. So this is something that probably I could sync on with SourceGrid, but this would be different. Like if people have like agreements or contributors agreements in the Comms DAO, they would be compensated, and of course that if we praise them for this or if we like react to their interactions, this would be recognized through SourceGrid, which I really liked it, especially when Griff made this clarification around what is it paid on, because we would be requesting the Comms DAO funding in RapTextDAI, and people are gonna get like SourceGrid in the TEC, which is also gonna be the governance token. So I feel that it has like two different purposes. And at the same time, I feel that it gives contributors and serious contributors the option to, instead of selling their SourceGrid rewards, accumulate them to further participate in the governance. Is this something that is this like something that you were asking, Ivy? Like, is it close, or did I get it wrong?
I think that makes sense. We're just thinking if there will be like a double compensation, you know, they get compensated with RapTextDAI, and then they get also compensated through SourceGrid. So yeah, that's the only thing that we want to clarify. Thanks, Tree.
This is the idea, and also at the same time, I feel that this gives the opportunity to people to hold their TEC tokens, because if their income is only SourceGrid, they could be like also selling part of these, and it might not be good like in the long term. It's OneHive had an issue with this with their first version of Params. They started giving rewards in Honey, and they just like drain the price. So it could work like in a different level, because SourceGrid would be rewarding contributors with governance power, not really like economic recognition. I don't know if this makes some sense, but yeah, thanks for asking that. Maybe we can pass it to Septi. I don't know if Septi can comment on some of these comments.
Yeah. Basically, that was it. Like, me and Ivy were trying to also do the same for transparency, and the issue we have is like we don't. Yeah, for example, we don't know who SourceGrid praise is going to be, and we were so worried about double compensation on the people. And yeah, I think like you're doing a really good job taking the initiative, and you're the first one taking the step in. The first two are, so congratulations, and yeah, keep the good work. I'll pass it to Nate.
Thanks, Zepti. Yeah, it's a great presentation, Chuy. So my thoughts on this are really been. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this kind of how to distribute the burden of paying a living wage to individuals who participate in the DAO space in general. And one of those ways that I think that would be really interesting to explore is a kind of a UBI retainer type of approach, where instead of going for a huge UBI for one DAO in particular, your UBI grows based off of how many DAOs you interact with. And so they'd say, hey, here's a small portion to go towards your a monthly retainer or quarterly retainer for UBI payments. And then you have big projects that the UBI forces your team to not be so tight, and allows people to grow and join in as you get more work done, and have those provide basic services for that UBI. And then certain projects, of course, it'll cost more to actually do a production of some type, and you can have internal proposals for that. And it allows for DAOs to keep their comms person on board, and directing, your service teams within your DAO. So if, Block Science wants some type of comms work done, they can say, hey, we have our comms person. They're going to work with your TE services, whatever it may be, social media, the production team, whatever it may be, and have that still connected. But yeah, the compensation thing is really a difficult problem. But I do think it should be separated. If you're going to go this route, it should be separated from the TEC altogether, from the praise and the source code system. And I think it should just be a dedicated internal DAO thing, especially if you end up having your own token, you can have your own system of praise and your own system of, internal working. But in terms of just growing, I think that some type of, UBI that is a lot smaller than what you projected there is realistic for a single DAO, and then maybe other projects will be willing to contribute that much as well. And so you have this kind of like approach to paying a living wage to people. But yeah, those are just my initial thoughts on it. So I will pass it to Edu. I will pass it to Suga.
Are you here?
Was that
Okay, let's go.
Was that to me, guys?
Oh no, it was Edu. But we're going with Katie, and maybe we can come back to Edu. Oh, here's Edu. Okay, let's go with Edu and Katie after that.
I don't know. I feel that the proposal, since I heard it on that Saturday on Paris, I felt it was a very good idea. Yeah, I'm just a spectator this time. I just wanna see what is the feedback from everyone, and I feel the idea is a frame that everyone will construct upon. So yeah, I just wanna listen and hear to everyone this time. Thank you, Chuy. And I don't know who's next, so back to you.
I'm kind of, I was late, and I also feel like I need to process more of what it means. I don't think my opinion at this point is intelligent enough to share anything great. So I'm going to just pass it to David.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm gonna have to let this percolate for a little while. I've seen DAOs with payment numbers on either side of those. Some using less and others using more. It's definitely a complicated issue that every DAO is struggling with. In fact, so is Gitcoin, and on how to reimburse their stewards. So, wonderful proposal, Chuy. That was very well put together and very clear. Thanks for the presentation. I'll get back to you with a little more detailed comments later. Thank you.
Okay, let's pass it to Craig.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Chuy. Yeah, first, thanks for the presentation and for being kind of the first to dive into this important process. And I think, like the previous few folks, so much information there and so many different combinations and so many moving pieces. So again, good work, and I'm going to think about this. Griff, have you gone?
No, not yet. Thanks. Thank you so much, Craig. So yeah, the few random things. So I think it's a fine proposal. I honestly don't think that we have to be so granular with our calculations on how we estimate the funding needed. I feel like the DAO might want to stay a little less granular about like all the details, like who gets how much money or whatever. It's like, what are your responsibilities? What are you planning on achieving? And how much are you asking for? Like, how are you held accountable? and how much money you're asking for. And then it's like the details. I think it's just really easy to get hung up on money, the details of the money things. Like if you look at some of these Gitcoin proposals, they don't say how much individuals are getting or anything like that. I mean, they're asking for a lot more money than we will be. They're asking like for 200K and stuff. So it's, or even more, 400K. Geez, Gitcoin went up a lot. But like it's, I don't think that everyone needs to know exactly the payment rates of everybody. And it's cool. It's good to have a standard though, and it's I really appreciate the details for like the other stewards to try to like figure out a starting point. It's really nice, and I think it sets a standard. But when it actually gets proposed to the DAO, it should be more. I feel like it should be more about what are you going to do, not how much everyone gets paid. Like we're going to manage these Twitter accounts. We're going to, like, I like what you first said about being a public goods comms resource. Like TE projects have really shitty comms. That is for sure. So, the more the more the TEC comms, like TEC is one of many public goods projects in the TE space. And so hopefully that gets like a special love, of course. And maybe I didn't really see you say much about doing TEC comms, but that should also be like maybe more highlighted in there. So it's like people know that you're not just, it's not like the token economy is not going to be forgotten. In fact, it's probably the primary focus. And then like eventually you'll be there to support other comms projects or other TE projects. And then like little thing, just like small things. I like Gnosis Safe. I don't know it needs to be, I mean, you can continue calling it a DAO, of course, but I don't know if you're really going to need to use the DAO tools. So if you're like, Aragon's having trouble, Gnosis Safe is very well maintained and a good option. What were these other questions? Let me see. I think legal aspects are really interesting. Like the sub DAOs, when they have the funding, so like they can do what they want to do, but still there's going to be like, how do people get paid, and what if I want to use this money? Like if they're getting paid in a Western nation, it's hard. There's a lot of capital controls in Western nations, so figuring all that will be a challenge without like a solid legal entity, but that's okay. That's how I like to do it anyway. And then offboarding I'm really glad that you brought offboarding up, because that's something that you're going to want to really nail down, of like how people, how people onboard is like always something that's figured out, but offboarding is something forgotten. So I really love that you brought that up there. And as far as like payments happen, like, I really do think that payments are things that Moritz said this to me in an early call, like payments and pay rates and stuff are things that are like best figured out on an individual basis. And that I feel like the Comms DAO can be a small enough project, 7 core contributors with max, with like, lots of part-time people floating in and out. And maybe there's just an admin person who supports on maintaining these work agreements, like how much everyone's getting paid, and then the payouts at the end of the month. So, and with that, I'll pass it to Tam. Did you go?
No, not yet. It's like advantage of going after everyone. It's like everyone already made so many points. Okay, Chuy, this is a lot. So I'll echo what everyone else said. Like really great putting all of this thinking together and consolidating it into so many clear points. I feel like I'm still thinking like high level conceptual, so I don't think my comments are going to be very detailed about anything specific, but more around, so it was yesterday or today I was reading something around the new like digital agencies focused on Web3, right? So it's like, yeah, we know that there's not good marketing and communications around Web3 at all right now. Angela mentioned that she had a conversation with Nate about this exact thing, and possibly using this Comms DAO to do better marketing for the Token Engineering Academy initiatives, which would be great too. And that there is going to be these organizations that start to specifically help bring awareness to Web3 and token engineering projects. So I think it definitely has to happen. I'll also echo, like, my first concern was like, wait, what's the TEC then? Is like TEC client 0? Like, if this comms is, if our comms team is really focused on all token engineering, does token engineering commons get lost in that? And my feeling right now about our comms is that we are a work in progress, and that we are still getting our footing, and we're getting better, but we're maybe not, at our goal yet in terms of optimal communication, and that we still need to really focus on TEC as well. But then maybe it's sort of like, I saw your timeline. Your timeline's totally reasonable. We have time to really, become excellent. And yeah, what else? I guess around the roles, I think around the roles also is sort of like, what are the deliverables for the clients, right? If TEC is a client of the comms, I actually think that maybe we're positioning this as TEC Comms DAO is its own entity. So it's like Ecto TEC instead of sub. It's like Ecto DAO instead of sub DAO. Maybe it seems to me like it's not a part of TEC anymore. It becomes its own DAO that then has the TEC as one of its many clients to provide communications and marketing and digital strategies for multiple entities. I would concur that I thought the base rates, even though it's meant to be sort of a retainer, as Nate mentioned, I think more like a retainer for roles, does feel really low. And the caution there is always, it's not the best way to attract the top talent by underpaying market rates. So that's just the concern around that. And then I would say the interesting thing about it being an Ecto DAO, or like maybe being its own DAO, maybe that's not the case. Maybe I can get some more clarification on that. But that it opens up funding not just from the TEC, but from multiple different initiatives. The Token Engineering Academy could partly fund the work, and other initiatives would also be able to fund this DAO in order to be like the central DAO for communication for multiple different token engineering initiatives. So overall, I think it's really cool. And I think that there's a really big need in this space. All of these initiatives are too small to have their own like creative agency teams. But if there is one creative agency that just manages all of the work for them, that is a good, what is it? Like, it's a scalable solution, and it's also a good way of managing resources. So cool. I don't have anything more specific than then, because I'm still getting my head around it, but let me know how I can help. And I think, let me pass to, who hasn't gone?
Acid Laser.
Acid Laser.
I think Acid Laser is the only one.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Tam.
Thank you, Tam. So I have not too much to say, but I really believe in the project. Because, well, Chuy always kept me up to date with this change. I'm still kind of new in this world, so I'm still understanding these technical topics, but I think that it's going to be a really good upgrade, and let's go. Thank you, Chuy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Acid Laser. I took notes of everything that all of you said. Thank you very, very much for this feedback. Definitely will help me prepare like a much better proposal that answers these questions. So our last agenda topic is the one-time change of the tech addresses, like some debate around this. Septic, would you like to give us like a brief introduction on this?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Chuy, for letting me do this time. Yeah, the idea is like on advice process. Sometimes we are not having engagement from the community, and I was thinking with Nate like we could do some debates and maybe get more engagement to the community. And the idea is like we also posted on the proposal. We are going to put the snapshot vote on 2 of September. So yeah, the idea is to do the debate. Like there was a topic for transparency around the addresses, and I think it would be good to discuss. Yeah, Nate pointed it out, and I think we should also do like we have different points of view, and the idea of the debate is just talk, and yeah, and take the decision. Like we could either take the decision without doing the debate, but I think it's better to do the debate so we can have everyone's opinion. And yeah, I think it also improves our advice process. Like when we are not having enough engagement, like try be proactive and get the engagement from where else you can, right? And yeah, the idea was to maybe do some comms on that debate, and it's going to be after Gravity on Thursday. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you would like to support you in comms with kind of like attracting people to this debate happening on Thursday after the Gravity call.
Yeah,
Is this correct?
maybe a tweet or something like that. We will also be telling it on the community call on the updates. But yeah, it's yeah, just to get the more engagement we can. And I would like to know if someone likes the idea, if someone dislikes the idea, like if since we still have 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll pass it to Nate. Maybe he wants to add something.
No, I'm just excited. I think having debates around all proposals that we submit, whether it be on Snapshot for just kind of informal signaling or on chain, they should all have debates. And I think that if you want to participate, I'm down to have a debate with you, Zep, and we'll just get down to the nitty gritty of these topics. So, yeah.
I'll just add that, well, Wonka's not here, but I'm leading SoftGov after this. And in fact, one idea was that we would be talking about the proposals today. So anybody wants to debate, come on over.
Okay. Thank you very much, Septi. We can we have a call this week, I think, about the new audit for comms. Let's talk about this and how we can support you with getting people to participate in the Thursday debate. But thanks for bringing this up.
Yeah, awesome. Maybe SoftGov call from today would be enough. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe if we are going to talk it on SoftGov, maybe we don't need to do the debate since we are going to do it on SoftGov. But yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I just want to say, I feel like for the kind of proposal, there's a reasonable amount of, back and forth about it. It's not such a controversial proposal. So, I mean, I'm looking at it and I feel like I just want to, us to sort of question what our expectations are in terms of engagement around proposals. This one is pretty mild, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of opposition, just rather like how we can confirm that there's no underhandedness going on. But yeah, what would your expectation be for this, Optimus? What would you feel would be sufficient?
The idea would be to be talking like if we as a DAO should be transparent on how especially when we do changes like that, and yeah, that's a point Nate raised on the thread. And then there are a lot of people, like I'm including, like which think maybe respecting the privacy of the individuals. I see, don't take me wrong, I see positive points on both sides and negative points on both sides. But yeah, that's what I would like to debate. Like, should we should we do? I don't know to talk. Should we be transparent or should we respect privacy of the individuals? Like that would be the debate, and I think in 1 hour we can do a lot of discussion.
And I agree with you, Tim. I think that it's not that much of a conflict for me. It's just about creating ritual around voting and decision making, and I think it's kind of, this may not be that important or have much conflict, but there will be one that rises, and I think creating behaviors around voting in the form of debates is really, really important to start doing.
I think we have other proposals which are a lot more controversial and or bear more exploration. Like the bonding curve one. Do we do initial buy? We still have a lot of exploring and nuance there. It would be a great. I mean, if we could have a debate for that one, an exploration and debate on that one, that would be really
all of them.
A good way to do that. All of them.
All of them.
Okay.
All right. See you, everybody. I'm going to a debate. Hope to see you there.